Ja, normalerweise, wenn ich ein Interview mache, kenne ich die Produkte, zumindest die Vorgängerprodukte aus dem FF. Jetzt machen wir hier ein Stück weit was Neues, weil es Produkte gibt, die mich interessieren. Ich habe schon einige Zeit über Barco nachgedacht, auch mit dem Chris schon mal ein bisschen gesprochen. Schöne Grüße übrigens, der schaut das Video wahrscheinlich an. Jetzt bin ich hier auf diesen NJORD gestoßen und habe mir überlegt, ich gucke mal, ob ich da ein paar Infos kriege. Und da haben wir hier drüben den Bart. Bart, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
As I told in German, I am pretty new to Barco. I'm not that familiar with all aspects, especially of new products. So
Yeah.
if you don't mind, please give me a short introduction to this projector. This one is new.
This one is relatively new within the product lineup, yes.
Yes.
So this is our NJORD model. This is the 16:9 that we're looking at. We also have it in a CinemaScope variant. So you're looking at a laser-based 4K UHD projector, outputting 3840 by 2160 resolution. And then for the CinemaScope, we are outputting in 2.37 to 1, so that actually we are outputting 5120 by 2160 resolution. So the benefit of the CinemaScope models being is you don't need any anamorphic lenses. The switching between aspect ratios is just like that, so no more messing around with lens memory like so that's a much more fluent user experience.
Is this one capable of doing something similar like NLS, nonlinear stretching?
Yes, all our models are capable of doing that indeed.
Without any additional video processing?
Without any additional video processing. So the latency on this model and all the models within what we call the Pulse series of products, so that's the Medea all the way up to the NJORD CinemaScope, all use the same technology, which means latency-wise you're talking around 20 milliseconds, which is phenomenal for a projector.
Fast, yeah.
Yeah, and that includes indeed all image processing.
What is the DCI-P3 coverage of this one?
100% DCI-P3
100%,
coverage with
okay.
this, yes.
This is a 3-chip DLP-based product?
Correct, yeah.
And how does it compare to a projector with reflective panels, like the GTZ 380 that is approximately the same price?
I would say a couple of things there. I mean, we like to talk about the image quality puzzle, as in what makes or what creates a good looking picture.
So the entity of picture quality.
Yeah,
okay.
because it's a variety of things. You need a good imaging device, you need to have great brightness, you need to have great colors, but if you have, for example, great brightness and then your colors are off or your uniformity is off, that doesn't result in a great picture. So you need a good imaging device and the great brightness and the great correct color accuracy and uniformity.
And good contrast.
I was going to come on to that. Good ANSI contrast indeed. And then finally, of course, yes, resolution makes a difference. But to come back to the imaging device, so we are using TI DLP technology. So, sorry, the DMDs, which is inorganic technology, means it does not degrade over time.
Okay, that's very calming.
That is, I mean, I would imagine if you're doing an investment into a Barco residential projector, that indeed you don't want to be worrying about, am I going to have, you know, degradation issues over time. There's going to be none of that. In terms of lifetime, you're talking about, depending on which model in the range, 20 to 50,000 hours of lifetime on the light engine part. The DMD lifetime, 100,000 hours. So
okay, that's impressive. Yeah. Basically, I'm quite surprised that this projector seems to be quiet, actually, especially in this mode.
For its size, it's relatively quiet indeed.
But
considering we're outputting 12,500 lumens, yes.
Is this indeed the highest output mode?
This is now at full high output mode, yeah, full 100% laser power.
But it's still not suitable for typical living room environment, so I guess this one is supposed to be placed inside a box or placed outside?
Depends on the size, of course, of the room. I mean, as you're saying, we're standing here indeed in a pretty open space and whatnot, but we see a lot of projects where these go into large living rooms, but like humongous living rooms. So assuming the conditions are right, assuming you've got, you know, the room is air conditioned and whatnot, this could be acceptable without any extra treatment. Of course, we would always recommend indeed putting it in a hush box, incorporating it into a dedicated technical room. But the nice thing is with these projectors in the Pulse platform, they have free orientation, which means you can install them vertically, for example, or upside down, projecting downwards, and then use a mirror to redirect the light. Or, for example, imagine you have this actually being a ceiling. You could put it in the ceiling and then using a mirror mount, just have the mirror mount drop. You project the light onto the mirror and the mirror reflects the light onto the screen without any loss of image quality.
Yeah.
So in terms of
So you're pretty flexible.
I was going to say in terms of installation options, tremendous flexibility, and it enables, I mean, in a typical environment like this, sometimes you would see, oh, for whatever reason, we have to stick to a big television because we could not place the projector, we didn't have the right lens. With our combination of lenses and installation flexibility, I would say there's almost always an option to guarantee an installation.
How does this one compare to the Freya? I just saw this one. It's such a massive.
The Freya is indeed
projector.
Is a little bit bigger as well. Freya would be the next step up in terms of picture quality.
So this one is positioned above this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic looking machine, as you can see.
Yeah, sure. It's impressive, considering that you still have ambient light.
Ambient light and whatnot, yeah. And the two NJORD CinemaScopes that we've been running in the partner booth.
I've seen them, yes.
That's exactly the same image quality you get, but then in a dedicated cinema environment, so a completely light controlled environment. So this is fantastic, but it's just that Freya is the next step up, is using the bigger chipsets from TI. So this is the 0.90-inch DMD. The Freya is using the 0.98-inch DMD. You get RGB laser, which is just the way that it generates the colors is a different level. Very, very pleasing.
I understood that this one actually uses 4K panels or 5K panels.
Correct, depending on the model.
Are there any plans to increase the internal bandwidth to 40 gigabit, being able to at least retrieve 4K 120 Hertz signals from gaming devices?
Well, right now we're capable of actually 4K 60 frames per second, and then depending on how you configure and which, let's say, gaming gaming PC you connect to it, 120 frames per second should be feasible, if I'm not mistaken.
But I guess that's not possible with Xbox or PlayStation?
No.
But mostly you use PCs for doing this kind of splitting signal transport. Okay. So no plans yet to develop 40 gigabit?
That will be a product management question, in
sure,
all honesty.
Okay, I understand. But I think most of the consumers will buy this one to watch movies.
I was going to say, considering the performance, like we said earlier, with the latency 20 milliseconds or less sometimes.
Okay, they might go for speed anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and if you think, it's how should I say, it's difficult to fathom, but taking the gaming experience, I mean, pro gamers will never accept 20 millisecond latency, no question. But if you're a casual gamer and you get the experience of being able to game on a 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever meter wide digital canvas, all of a sudden it becomes very impressive. And I think there would be a lot of people very willing to trade off, 10, 15 milliseconds of latency in order to get this kind of immersive experience.
Well, I have to admit that I'm very positive about the picture quality in general. It looks quite natural without those digital look, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I really like DLP based images. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add about this product? We forgot to talk about?
About the product, I think we covered most important bases. In terms of installation flexibility and control, again, we've got driver support for Control 4, RTI, Savant and Crestron. So from an integration point of view for the integrator, this offers. Yeah.
So this one is already available in all markets, or?
Yeah, this is available. We've been shipping this product worldwide already.
Okay,
yeah.
Alrighty, so
the only thing I would say is if people would like to know more about Barco Residential, who we are, what we do, products and whatnot, always can visit us on www.barcoresidential.com.
Or your local dealer, and perhaps we will become a dealer. I have to check the products yet.
For sure.
But it's a very compelling product so far. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.